thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight I've got a fun video. It's a little bit longer, but I think it's just because I miss you guys so much. Given I've been away for nearly a month, I thought let's have some fun. We'll have a bit more of a chatty, fun video, and I'm going to give you my 5 top hacks for how I make cards and kind of cruise through them if I need to make fast cards or if I want to do bulk cards. This is kind of how I do it. So we're going to get started with tip number 1, which is using pre-made card bases. Or for me, I have all my cardstock cut, an A4 sheet directly cut in half, and that's what I use. But anything like this Dovecraft one, where you've got your pre-made cards, you've got your envelopes, those kind of things are key when you want to do quick card making, easy card making. Just get yourself a pack of cards and envelopes. Quality doesn't really matter. It's just the color. As long as you like the color, that's all that really matters. I buy all my card bases from Lime Tree Craft in the UK. I get A5 sheets of card and I just fold it in half. Super simple. Second tip is to use decorative paper. So normally I like to show you techniques and tricks on how you can make your own backgrounds and have fun. But in this case, we're going to save time and we're going to use decorative paper because it's already done for us. This is new in my collection. I used it a couple months ago before Christmas and I got all 3 packs of it. So you can get, for this paper collection from the Paper Boutique, you can get it I think in purple, pink, neutral tones, blacks, whites, grays, that kind of thing. They're a fantastic paper company. I have a massive addiction. If you watched me, I've got quite a lot of these, and whenever they bring out new ones, I tend to buy them. So I love this one because you can interchange them with all the colors. So it comes with all the same pattern papers. You can choose to buy them individually or you can buy them as a bundle. I bought the bundle because it saves your money. And then I like that you can get the sentiments, you can get all these little embellishments that you can cut out. It's just fun having these paperbacks. So I'm really sorry you see a lot of the Paper Boutique, but I really am addicted to it and I like it. I like the quality and it smells really good. I know that's really weird, but I love the smell of this paper. It smells nice. But I've got this in the pink, the neutral tones, the purple, I think, and the black and white. I think. But I love them. So you can change them up and use them all together because they all have the same patterns, which is fun. Anyways, I'm sorry, I ranted about that. We're going to use all the same color because if you use all the same color, it makes card making really quick and easy. You don't have to think about, will this go together? Will it look nice? Oh, what color of ink should I use? What color embellishment should I get? Just stick with the same color. So I always use a white base, or you could use a vanilla base. And then I go for a color and keep all the same color but different tones, and the different tones kind of give it that flair. So next we're going to go ahead and layer everything. So I'm not giving you measurements in this video just purely because I'm using whatever I've got to hand. So my card base might be different size to your card base, and all I did was layer it so that it was about 1/2 centimeter or 2.5 centimeters smaller than the panel below it. So my top layer is always just a little bit smaller than that bottom layer. So if I work in inches, I use 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch, and I kind of like that sort of look of the edge. Now obviously if you're consciously aware of using up all your nice cardstock and things, you could obviously die cut out of the cardstock before you layer it to make the most of it. I'm not overly bothered and I want to just do this quick and easy, so I just layer it straight on top of each other. Now my base layer is a little bit bigger than my layers for my panels. That's just because I wasn't thinking clearly, and I would have just gone with the same size layer between the bottom panel and my card base. So my sort of starter point for my cards is to do a little base layer. Now, don't chuck any of your scraps when you're doing these. I always tend to use those. That takes the brain work out of my card making. I use whatever I've got left over and I make do with that. So I know that all these colors are going to go together. I know that all the papers are going to go together. So I just use up all the scraps. It makes it nice and efficient. I feel better on the environment because I'm not chucking any of it. I'm not having to recycle any little bits. I'm going to use even the tiniest little scraps. Sometimes I'll go ahead and cut little tiny strips and scraps from my scrap bits that are left over from the base cards. So don't toss any of it. Just keep it all on your desk and be ready to use it. So I go ahead and use these little strips. I thought they'd look nice on that card, and then I go ahead and cut myself some more strips, cut myself little panels that will work, and essentially whatever size strips I do, I then do a base layer that is about 1/8 of an inch or about 2.5 centimeters wider than that top layer. So when I'm done, I've got a whole bunch of these little panels and chunks of card, and then I'm ready to kind of assemble them together. So I get them all on my desk and have a look at them, and then I just start playing. It's literally all about having fun, not overthinking everything, but because all these colors work together and they're just random similar shapes, it makes it nice and easy. I'm not doing any die cutting at all. I'm not doing any stamping at the moment, nothing like that. I'm literally just playing and having fun and sticking them together and trying to make sure I don't repeat any patterns. That was the other thing I was going for. I've got my big box of metallic thread. I'll link this down below. I got this from AliExpress. I'll try and link everything I used today. Sorry, I should have said that at the beginning. If I can find it, if it's still available, I'll pop a link down below for you. If it's not available, I usually do try and say it's not available. Now this is my trick for when I want to stick down a little panel. I don't want to have to like cut it and get it the wrong size. So I lay my strip upside down on top of my card base and start my glue at the bottom of the card. And then that way when I turn it over, I've not got glue squidging out at the bottom and getting all over my desk and then mucking up my desk. So I always do that with my little panels. I place them on top of the card and then start applying the glue. Now my scissors are new in my collection. I got a pair of 3 scissors from Arteza, and I just wanted to share them with you because they're really, really cool. They're like the Tim Holtz ones, but almost better. They're not as long, they're not long bladed, but they are non-stick scissors, and they're really, really good. I'm really impressed with them. So I've been playing with those lately. They're really nice and sharp and really sturdy. So if you need a good scissors, it might be worth looking at Arteza if they ship to your country. Now, to hold my metallic thread in place, I use this Redliner tape. This stuff is like super glue in tape form. It's really strong, and I've found that no matter what I do, my thread always comes loose. But if I use the Redline tape, it peels off really nice, and I can just use it to kind of hold that thread in place. Otherwise, they all come undone, and then I end up with this mess of metallic thread all over my office, and it drives me crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some Redline tape to the back of this strip that I got here, and I'm literally going to wrap and wind my thread all the way around it, kind of on an angle. And I just had fun. I just played with the thread and had a great time and kind of made some patterns with it. So I'm not going to show you in detail every card, and if you're getting bored, then do feel free to skip through to like the next step. You might already be bored and trying to skip through all the video. I don't mind if you want to just skip through and see the different sort of top tips that I do for making my cards quickly. But I thought if you want to hang out with me and have a good Saturday night with your glass of wine or your hot chocolate, whatever you might have, then I thought this might be fun to do and have a bit more of a chatty one and a bit more of a fun one. I also want to say that I do have a Facebook group for anyone who wants to join us over there, where we can share makes, any creations. I welcome all kinds of craft. If you sew, if you paint, if you card make, whatever you do, you can pop on over and join that group and share it with us. There are some rules pinned to the top of the group, so just make sure you read through those and you're aware of them, and then have fun and share, or you can sit back and watch and have fun with us that way. I also have Instagram. I'll link that down below as well. I'm kind of rubbish on there. I'm trying to get my head around it a bit better and do a bit better with posting. But anything that I don't film for a video, I'm trying to make sure that I take photos of and post on there so that you can see photos of all the makes that I make, whether I have a video or not for that. So getting back to the video, hopefully you've been kind of following along just with what I've been doing. I'm having fun making up my little panels and decorating the fronts of my card a little bit, adding a bit of thread, adding a bit of twine, adding a bit of tulle in this case. Anything to kind of put a little bit of texture into your card can add a little bit more interest, and it can add a bit more character and dimension as well. So this is tulle, which is a kind of shiny see-through fun stuff that you see in a lot of party dresses, or maybe under a wedding dress kind of thing. I wouldn't suggest going under someone's wedding dress to get a piece of it, but yeah, mine is from AliExpress, which used to be nice and cheap. I'm not sure if it is anymore due to COVID, but I'll put a link down there for you where you can get some. Right, we're going to embellish now. And the bigger, the better. We want to fill up our card and have a nice focal point. This is where we're going to draw the attention onto the card. Having something that is your focal image is a great way to avoid having your card look cluttered, if that kind of makes sense. Sometimes you can put so much onto a card or a card front that they kind of all blur together and it gets a bit like, whoa, what's going on here? Whereas if you kind of have a nice big focal image, a focal point, a focal stamp, It draws your eye to that point and it kind of blends everything together. I don't know if I'm making any sense whatsoever here. This is my big bag of goodies. This is all pretty much from AliExpress. I've collected these over the years. I love these sequined foam or sequined felt images. They're really good fun. So I've got that big bag of Lovely Jubbly, which I always pull out when I need a focal kind of big thing. This is new in my stash. I've had a Bosch glue gun for ages and it leaks everywhere. As you can see from my IKEA kids plate, it just collects a lot of glue. So I thought I would try the Sizzix one. I want something smaller on my desk that isn't so big and bulky. The Bosch one's like a household one. I picked up some glue sticks when I was in Canada last week because right before Christmas when I bought it, I went to use it and then realized I needed smaller glue sticks. Whoops. So I picked some up when I was in Canada. Now, my top tip is to always embellish in odd numbers. For whatever reason, this works well. So make sure that you use 1 or 3 or 5. That's kind of what I always do. For whatever reason, it's just nice and pleasing on the eye. And I don't know the logic behind it. You can pop that in the comments if you know. It's just something I've learned over the years that odd numbers always look better than even. Totally random, but it works. So I either use 1 or 3. That's my kind of top favorite number to do if I'm going to embellish something. So here I'm going to use the 3 butterflies and stick them down. This is where I've introduced a new color on some of the cards. On some of them I felt like a new color looked quite nice. It kind of went well with the card. This is all I do. I literally put everything on the table and I just go off on until I'm like, this one looks the best. And then I kind of roll with it. I don't overly think it. Probably takes me about a minute or two. This is me showing you it didn't drip anywhere. I'm really happy with this glue gun. I'm really, really happy because my previous one just dripped everywhere. So all I did was slapdash some elements on there. Now, if you've got a sentiment stash, this is key. You can just leave your cards as is now from this point on. You could just leave them and then you could add your sentiment in the last minute or the last bit. I pulled out a few that kind of looked good. I wasn't even going to put any sentiments on any of my cards because I thought, well, I don't need to. I can put these on at last minute. And then I got carried away. I pulled them all out and I thought, oh, actually, I want to put this on here. Oh, I want to put this on here. And I went to town with it. So I always have a little box of pre-stamped and pre-die cut or just stamped little strips of card with sentiments on. My Nuvo drops, which is what these are, I always put a little drop on the lid so I can see what color it is. This was one that I picked up right before Christmas and I haven't done it yet. So I thought I'd quickly share this with you. This is how I keep all my Nuvo drops. They stay upside down in like little nail polish holders or lipstick holders. I don't know. I found them at the cheapo store and it's for makeup. And I always store them upside down because then there's no bubbles in them. And then every time I go to put the little drops down, they come out perfect and smooth and I don't get any problems. But I always do the lid so I can see what the color looks like when it's dry. Now, a huge thank you to a wonderful lady named Debbie who sent me a beautiful little gift. She sent me a little gift to scrapbook.com as like a little Christmas gift, and it was really sweet. So anyways, I went ahead and I picked up a new glitter pen. I really wanted to try out the scrapbook.com ones. I do have a video where I make my own glitter pens and my own glitter solutions. So if you would like to see that, I'll try and link that on the top right here. If not, I'll put it in the description box. But I wanted to try these out because my friend Natasha Foote uses them and I thought, oh, I really want to have a go, and I had this gift card. So thank you, Debbie. I got this pen as well as a few other bits, which I'm sure you'll see soon in my videos. But I'm going to go ahead and embellish all my cards a little bit more. I'm going to add to the embellishments. I'm going to kind of add to the card. I'm going to put a little bit of glitter, a little bit of Nuvo drops, kind of add something a little bit more in the background to kind of finish off the cards as well as the sentiments. So for most of the cards, I put Nuvo drops. Some of them I didn't. I don't think I did for the one with the 3 butterflies. On this one, I put the little glitter pen onto the butterflies, and then I'm adding little dots on the middle of the body. Now, my son made me this little heart while I was doing my video, and he really wanted me to put it in the video, so I said I would. So that was a little heart that he made for me. And he was wanting to craft because I was up there crafting as well. in my new office in our new house, which is very fun. I will share photos of that with you as soon as I tidy it up a little bit more. So I went ahead and I made my own little decorative envelopes. I have a tutorial on how you can do this little envelope insert. It takes about a minute or less to do. Really simple, really easy. Been one of my top videos, so I'll link that hopefully in the right hand corner, as well as down in the description box. If you want to see how I did the envelopes, it's super fast and simple. I then used my strips that I had left over, my scraps again, and decorated the front of the envelopes. And as you can see, even this big chunky one will fit in there. I'll probably use a little bit of washi on there to, stick it down a bit and make sure it doesn't pop open. But you can fit all these kind of embellishments into the envelope. It works just fine. So here you can see I've got the strips along the bottom, and I used a second little strip to kind of go along the top there of that little decorative strip. And I was sharing just a few minutes ago that I used that extra embellishment pack that I bought with the paper set, and I just cut the strips out of there as well to kind of match with the butterflies and flowers. So this one I love with that big love on it. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for, but I think it looks really awesome. And it turned out really great, and all I did was just kind of added and added and added, and it seemed to work all right. So I'm really pleased. There will be photos at the end of the video, as per usual, so you can see all the cards up close in a bit more detail, in case you want to have a better look than me kind of flinging the cards around the screen and trying to show you that way. But these are all the cards and envelopes now finished. It took me about 2.5 hours to make 5 different cards. I wanted to give you a variety to look at. Obviously you can just make one using this method, but I thought I was going for it anyways, I might as well make 5. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that it wasn't too long for you, but I really do miss all of you, and I miss doing my videos. I miss getting creative and crafty. So I'm really happy to be back home. I will be going off again to Canada in probably a couple months' time to spend a bit more time with my mom. But it won't be for as long this time, and hopefully I'll be a bit better organized. It won't be right before Christmas and right before we move house, so I'll hopefully have a few videos that I can have banked in spare for you guys, so that we don't have to have such a long gap away from each other again. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I can't wait to see you again this week. Bye!